Ciao. Have you ever had a long weekend and then Sunday rolls around and all you want to do is just kick back, unwind, and have a warm, comforting, flavorful dish? Well, I have the perfect meal for you. And it'll even make for great leftovers. Pronto? Allora andiamo a cucinare.
Whoa, whoa, yeah.
Ciao, my name is Lucia, and I bring meals and memories to your kitchen through wholesome Italian cooking. Today, we're going to make stuffed peppers. I love these stuffed peppers because they are so flavorful, and they are great for a comforting meal for a Sunday night dinner. So what we're going to do is start with our ground beef, and I'm going to put a little bit of olive oil in my sauté pan. And we have about a pound of ground beef. I'm going to add that. And I'm just using a wooden spatula, and I'm just going to kind of break up the meat. And the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some spices, because this is going to be a very flavorful dish with all these spices. I've got paprika, I got chili, oregano, and a little bit of hot pepper, because I like a little bit of a kick. So I'm going to add all that to my ground beef. And I am going to add a little bit of salt, about a half a teaspoon. And I'm just going to kind of continue breaking up the meat and cooking and getting all the spices incorporated into the ground beef. Okay. All right, so now that our meat is almost cooked, I'm going to add one chopped onion to it so it'll saute. And you just want to cook it until it becomes translucent. All right, so now that our onions are all translucent, I'm going to take the mixture and put it in a bowl. Okay, so now I want this to cool just a little bit because I'm going to be adding some other ingredients in here. But while this is cooling, I'm going to get my dish that I'm going to be putting my peppers in. So now peppers, they come in male and female if you didn't know. A 3 is a male and a 4 is a female. So I try to look for female peppers because they stand better, and when I cut them in half, I like just how they look better. It just seems more even cutting 4 as opposed to 3. So I try to look for the female peppers. Now when you do your stuffed peppers, you can do them standing up this way, cut the tops off and fill them, but what I actually like to do is cut them sideways. When I cut, I try to get a little bit of the stem because I want to hold that in. And then you can just clean out the inside a little bit here with your knife and be very careful. Try to pull all that rib out and any seeds that you see in here. And you can just shake out any extra seeds that you have. And so then I just like to place them in my bowl like this, and they tend to lay better. They don't rock back and forth when I do it this way, and they're also easier to cut when you serve them. So I'm just going to do the rest of my peppers. So now that we have our peppers cut, if you find one that kind of rocks like this, what you can do is just take the back side of it and just cut just a little bit, just to kind of give it a little bit of a flat surface so that when you lay it down, now it stays stable and it won't rock on you. And one last thing that we want to do with the peppers to give it even more flavor is we want to just take a little bit of salt and just kind of sprinkle in the inside of our peppers. All right, so we'll just set this aside while we get our filling ready. Now our filling has cooled down enough, and so one of the things that we are going to add is some fresh garlic. And I've got about 4 cloves here, but you can add as little or as much as you like. I love garlic, so 4 cloves is good for me. Then what we're going to do is we're going to add some Parmesan cheese that I've shredded. We're also going to add some mozzarella that I've shredded as well. And some homemade ricotta. You can use store-bought if you want. You don't have to have homemade. Just kind of break that up a little bit. Okay, now the next ingredient is going to be rice, and this is pretty much however much you want to use. I have about 2 cups here. If you want to use 2 cups, if you want to use 1 cup so you have more meat, less rice, that's totally okay as well. And I like to also flavor my rice. I don't use just regular rice that's been cooked in water. I actually cook mine in chicken broth, and I will share a link here on how to do that. So now we just want to well incorporate everything. And if you find that after you mix it, if you want a little bit more rice, by all means you can add more. The other thing this dish is great for is you can add leftovers in here. If you've got some carrots or some celery or some tomatoes, anything will go in here. It's really very forgiving. You can even put zucchini in here if you have any zucchini left over. Okay, so now we are ready to fill our peppers. And so we just take a spoonful and just kind of fill as much as you can in the cavity of the pepper. I kind of push it down just a little bit because I want to make sure it gets in all those little nooks and crannies. And then I even just kind of give a nice little heap at the top. And I'm going to continue doing this until all of my peppers are full. So now my peppers are filled, and I do have some filling left over. And so one of the things you can do with it, you can just take the filling and put it in the freezer until you want to do peppers again. Or since I do have a few more peppers left over, I will probably fill them and also bake them and put them in the freezer so that next time that I need a quick meal, I can just pull them out and reheat it. So that is an option for you. So now that our peppers are in the baking dish, we do need to add a little bit of water so that there is some kind of a steam in here. And you want to make sure you just have enough water to fill the bottom of your pan. And we're going to cover this with aluminum foil. And this hot water is going to create steam and it's going to cook. And we're going to cook it at 350 degrees. And just before it's ready, we're going to take it out and we're going to add some mozzarella on top. But I also forgot, we're going to put a little bit of sauce on top of these too. So I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of sauce. And this is just a plain homemade marinara sauce. All right, so in the oven it's gonna go, covered with foil. Okay, so these have been in the oven for about 40 minutes now, and you can tell they're almost ready. The skins are soft, that's a good indication. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna put, and you can see some of the sauce did come off, but that's okay, not a big deal. Because now I'm gonna put a slice of fresh mozzarella on top of each one. I'm gonna put it back in the oven for just about 5 or 10 minutes until the mozzarella melts, and then we will take it back out and let it cool before we serve it for dinner. So our peppers have come out, and I just kind of garnished them with a little bit of chopped parsley just to give it a little bit of more color to it. But oh my gosh, the kitchen is filled with such a wonderful aroma. Your family is going to really love this. And if you really want to impress your family, check out this apple cake recipe right here. It is perfect. You can make ahead of time, and it's that perfect Sunday sweet tooth comfort. So click right over here, and I'll see you there. Bon appetit. Ciao.